Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with, what do we call this? It's kind of a mani chat, but I'm actually doing nail care today. It is a suggestion by Lisa Bryan, and I am taking her up on this in 2025 to show you guys what I do as far as removing my color straight and what nail care I do before I do my next mani. So if you are into that, keep watching. If not, there's lots of other content on YouTube for you to peruse. This is the Spring to Life mani that I had put on last. As you can tell, lots of wear, especially on this middle finger right there, as well as right along the edges right there. And you can tell my cuticles need some care. This finger, my problem child pointer finger or index finger, had 2 layers of the color street on it and lifted up in the corner here. So this one you see on the finger right now is actually another strip that I have put on when that happened. And it's because I'm super rough with my hands. So let's talk about removing color street. Color street could be removed with any nail polish remover. Although this says color street nail polish remover, acetone free, inside this bottle is actually my favorite acetone nail polish remover. I like the size of the Color Street bottle, and so I reuse them. I haven't bought Color Street nail polish remover in some time now, but this Big Daddy, or Big Mama, Big Bertha, is Beauty Secrets Acetone nail polish remover. This is one that is a nourishing professional formula with wheat protein and vitamin E. I don't know. I find that I love using it. And so the smell of it is not offensive, and I don't find it wrecking my nails. So I continue to use it. Yes, right now my nails are still dealing with a little bit of peeling, but it's due to winter and we are now in spring. So I am hoping that with the change in weather, as it gets warmer and I'm washing my hands a lot more, I will be using a lot more cuticle oil, which I poured. If you watch one of my other videos, I mentioned that Color Street had included a cuticle oil in one of their boxes, their sub boxes, their color play boxes, and I had transferred over the oil into these cuticle oil pens. Along with more jojoba oil, so that I can nourish my cuticles. But the cuticle oil also nourishes the nails themselves, and so I've learned to do that with my nail care. Of course, you don't want to use the oil right before you're putting on Color Street. Today I'm actually not going to be putting on Color Street. I will be using my ILNP nail polishes after removing my Color Street, so that's why I decided, okay, let's do a nail care video instead of a, mani chat, because as you know, if I do conventional nail polish, I'm not going to record it because it takes a bit of time to dry, and I don't want to stay on camera waiting a couple of minutes for each finger to dry. So we are just going to do the nail care part. So first things first, removing the Color Street strips. I like using nail clips and cotton rounds, and in fact I threw away the bag of the cotton rounds, and I probably should show you which ones I personally like. And I get them from Costco. So the nail polish remover, the Beauty Secrets, I get from Sally Beauty Supply. And I buy the big bottle and just refill my little Color Street nail polish bottle. These Swiss Swispers, premium rounds. I love getting them at Costco. You can also get them at like Walmart or something like that, but they're my favorites. And some people who like to conserve these will cut them in half and use just the half. I'm wasteful. I'm sorry to say. I'm one of those. I will use the full cotton round and soak up the nails that way. So that's just me. But one way you could save is to cut them in half down the middle and then just use, especially if you have shorter nails, you could probably get away with doing with that. However, I use the whole round. So what I do is I clip my nails. If I only have one layer of color street, which I do at this time, usually just clip it for like a minute and then I should be able to rub it all off. If I have more than one layer, or if I have a chunky glitter layer, I need to soak it for longer than that. But this just needs about a minute. And while we're waiting for this 1 minute, why are my hands so messed up in like 5 days? I've only had this on for like 5 days. 6 days? 5 days. Less than a week. Well, I've been really rough with my hands. This week, I attempted to make homemade pizza from scratch, like completely from scratch. Obviously, I'm not making my own cheese from scratch yet. Who knows? Give me enough time, I might make my own cheese. But as far as the sourdough pizza dough, I made that from scratch earlier this week, which takes a little bit of prep time because you have to use the sourdough starter and the flour, and you've got to do this stretch and fold method like a bunch of times in half-hour increments, and then let it like autolips, which takes a bit of time. So when I was prepping that sourdough pizza dough, I was like, I had set a timer for myself. I think I went to bed at like 8:30 p.m. Set a timer for 11:30 p.m. to get up and finish off, like putting the dough into the fridge to sit for a couple of days. And so that was one thing. The second thing was pulling apart the cheese. Like I sliced the cheese, but I also pulled apart the mozzarella into little bits. And I had made 2 different pizzas. One was just a cheese pizza for Panda Bear, my significant other. And the other, I think it's been more than a minute now, the other was my favorite, which includes, onions, mushrooms, and Italian sausage. So for that pizza, instead of onions, I used shallots because that's what we had left in our little onion bin that I knew I had to use up. And I had mushrooms, but they were like a variety of mushrooms from Bristol Farms that were frozen. And I also ordered Italian sausage from Bristol Farms. Basically, there was one mozzarella cheese that supposedly, when I was Googling, best mozzarella for pizza, Polly O was the brand. And only Bristol Farms in my area had it. And Panda Bear and I had not had a chance to make it all the way to Pasadena, to Bristol Farms to get it. And I really wanted to make sure I had it for making pizza on Friday. So I had ordered it from Bristol Farms through Amazon. And in order to get free delivery, even though I tipped like $5 for the delivery driver, but in order to get a free delivery, I had to spend more than $25. So that was where the frozen mushrooms and the Italian sausage came into play. So I had gotten all of that in an order on Thursday and did a test run of the pizza for my mom. And I had purchased on Amazon a pizza stone and pizza peel because didn't have those things, and I thought it would be helpful to have it for our toaster oven. So I made sure to find a pizza stone that was small enough to fit into our toaster oven without any issue. And I made the first pizza. Didn't quite come out as intended. I hadn't flattened the dough enough so that it was, Neapolitan, almost New York style. So it also took a bit of time to cook and wasn't quite to what I was looking for. But my mom said it tasted good. So at least it tasted good. So I knew what to do as far as correcting the process for the next time, which was yesterday. So we didn't end up cooking the pizza on Friday because Panda Bear and I had a dinner date together since he was going to be late to pick me up from the office. And so he said that we can save the pizza for Saturday, and Friday he was just going to take me out to eat. So we've been on this kick of finding really good chopped cheese sandwiches. So if you never had chopped cheese, it's like New York's version of a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. You can find them in all the bodegas and delis and all of that in New York. But apparently they're getting popular here in California too. And I didn't know chopped cheese existed until we had our first one on Pie Day from Corner Market in Glendale. I think it's Glendale. Panda Bear had picked up a chopped cheese and some other sandwiches from Corner Market, and then also picked up pizza from Weirdos for Pie Day. And that was my first experience of a chopped cheese, and I fell in love. It is like having a cheeseburger but in sandwich form. So you're combining two of my most favorite things, sandwich bread and a cheeseburger, into one thing, and just chef's kiss. So needless to say, I'm now obsessed with chopped cheese and want to find the best chopped cheese sandwich in Southern California. And Panda Bear and I are planning our anniversary this year to head out to the East Coast. Originally, we were talking about staying in New Haven, Connecticut for all of the pizzas that he wants to try. But now, with the new introduction of my obsession of chopped cheese, we might actually stay in Brooklyn, New York. But I don't know yet. More on that later. It's an organic plan that we're planning out, so we shall see where we end up. But all I know is we're doing an East Coast pizza and chopped cheese tour for a few days around our anniversary date in October. So very excited about that. So yeah, I made pizza, used the leftover Italian sausage, shallots and mushrooms, my apologies, and made a broth. But I kept the Italian sausage separate from the broth because Panda Bear's on his extreme diet kick right now, and so he enjoyed having the mushroom and shallot broth on its own. And then for my mom and we had the broth, but with Italian sausage added to it. So yeah. And then the weekend was kind of funky because we usually spend at least one weekend day over at Mama Carla's house, like the whole day. But we would go maybe like later in the day, from like 1 or 2 p.m. till like super late. But yesterday, so on Friday, Panda Bear was super late to pick me up from the office because the littlest one, Amalika, she's 6, wouldn't let Uncle go and wanted Uncle to play airplane, wanted Uncle to, do this and that. And so, in engaging Uncle in play right before he's leaving, he's like, oh, let's do something new. What did he call it? A whoop-de-doo? Something-de-doo. Anyways, he flipped her over upside down or something. Whatever. He had her. He was not going to drop her, but she freaked out. Started screaming bloody murder, started crying, started accusing Uncle of trying to kill her or whatever. I don't know the details because I wasn't there. I just heard him tell the story. He was upset because he does a lot for the fam, and he had just taken the kiddos after school to McDonald's for them to have like a nice meal and some playtime at McDonald's and all of that, and to give Mama Carla a little bit of, a reprieve from having to deal with the kids every single day. And that was like the thanks he got when he was leaving, was them, well, not them, but Amalika being a brat. And so I'm sure years down the line, when the kiddos are old enough, if they ever stumble across this video, I'm talking to you, Amalika. Yeah, not cool. Yeah. Anyways, so as punishment, which I told Uncle, punishing them is like punishing me too, because the punishment was originally we were not even going to go over to Mama Carla's house this weekend, and he was just going to go to Sam's Club to pick up their necessities and their groceries and stuff and drop them off himself and just leave. But I was like, well, can I go too? And then he decided, okay, we're going to go to Sam's Club together, and we are going to pick up Lilith and pick up Benjamin, and they're going to go with us, but Amalika is not invited. And that was her punishment, was that she couldn't go out with the group because she made a big stink before Uncle left on Friday night. And so that's what we did on Saturday morning. And it was a lot of fun because Lilith and Benjamin are super well behaved. And this was, they weren't always like that when they first came over from Belgium, but they are now. They're like super well behaved. And it was so peaceful in the car. And we got to Sam's Club and they listened well. They got to learn how to scan in groceries from Sam's Club with the app, because the app allows you to scan and go if you're not getting anything that's alcoholic or anything like that. And so they took turns scanning in the groceries and all the necessities and all of that. And it was just a great time. And then when we got back to the house, Amalika was very well behaved. And so we were actually there at the house for longer than we originally intended, which was great because it allowed me time to, I played Cover Your Cookies, which was a free card game from Crumble Cookies that I have. And we also played the Minions matching game. So I was able to spend some time with my nieces, which was what I wanted, which made me very happy. Alright, so Color Street came off. No issue there. My nails look a little dingy yellow, but that's because base coat, people. When you're using nail polish, make sure you're always using a nice base coat, or else there could be staining involved. So that's just the staining there. Alright, so I like to use cuticle oil first, and then I like to do my cuticle work. And then Color Street, the sets come with an alcohol pad, which I like using that on my nails before I start using like the normal polish or anything like that over it, or I'll just run my nails over with another cotton pad with acetone just to clean off any oils or anything like that. And so I just rub in the cuticle oil. And I do this before I even start like using the cuticle nipper to nip off anything, because I want to make sure that it's well hydrated. So, and I mean, I'm generous with the cuticle oil, like all over. All over. And then if there's any problem children nails, I've tried very much so not using nail clippers anymore unless I've broken a nail. Then I kind of have to use the nail clippers to kind of reshape. But typically I just use my nail file, which I am loving this Germanicure. I don't know the name, how to like pronounce the name brand. Right there you go. It's clearer there. But first coffee. I love this. It is a glass nail file, and I'll use it often, and then I'll just rinse it off with water. It's supposed to last a lifetime, so we shall see. As long as I don't drop it and break it, I think it feels like it will last a lifetime. So I like using those over using any of those other types of nail files. And I think it was Kelly Marissa, one of the YouTubers that I watch, that talked about these glass nail files, and finally purchased one off of Amazon for I think like less than 15 bucks. So I'm just pushing, I'm like rubbing the cuticle oil in, but I'm also kind of pushing and using my nails as tools, even though I shouldn't use my nails as tools. Just pushing any of the skin back a little bit. And just do all of that right there, like that. And then check to see where I might need to use the cuticle nipper to clean up any work. Usually once I've put the oil on, there's not as much that needs attention, but I still see right over here that needs a little bit of attention. But yeah, usually with the cuticle oil, if I'm sitting at my home office desk, which is where I also film these videos, I will put some cuticle oil on. And have you noticed my new nail mat? So, custom nail mat with Pachaco, my favorite Sanrio character, but also Wendy from Cali. I love it so much. And green is like one of my favorite colors. This, especially this like sage green, minty green color. I absolutely adore that color. So yeah, the other mat was getting just way too dirty, and I think this might be the winner as far as mats go from now on. So if this one gets super dirty or gets wrecked, I'll probably reorder this if it's still available to order moving forward. So I've been trying to test out different mats to see what I like the most. And yeah, I love that it has the Wendy from Cali, but let's see. I guess if I do put my nail tools down, it might block most of it. What if I did it over here? I mean, I don't really need to leave my nail box. I was leaving my nail box up because the other mat with the panda bear was really dirty, and I was covering up a lot of those dirty spots. So now I don't really have to do that. So yeah, what I can do though is I can fit all of my stuff in certain areas and still have the Wendy from Cali show up. Pachaco's obviously cut off a little bit, and his little bunny friend is on the side over here that you can't see, but you can see the little chickadee and you can see the bee, and it's so cute. And then of course music. I love music. So yeah, all in all, it is a great find and I'm so happy about it. All right, so nail care wise, I will just clip anything that looks like a stray and let the cuticle oil do its work for a little bit. So on days where I know I'm filming a mani chat and I'm going to be doing my nails, a lot of the times the night before I will do all of this nail care stuff. So I will remove the polish or the Color Street strips the night before, do all the nail care stuff before, and then the next day, as time permits, I will film the video and do my nails on camera. There are some times where I will do the nail care and do the nails at the same time on the same day. Then most of the nail care is done offline, obviously, not on camera, and I space it out a little bit. Sometimes I will also include taking a shower after doing my nail care before I sit down to film the mani chat and do my nails. So that way the oils have had a chance to kind of do its work, but also I've rinsed off like any excess oil from my fingers and my nails before actually getting the nail strips put on, because you want to make sure there's no oils or anything, that your nails are like super clean. Some folks swear by Dawn dish soap, washing their hands with that before using Color Street. So that's another way to kind of clean your nails and clean your hands before, just to ensure that the Color Street sticks. But yeah, this is what I do. And then I'm not very good at shaping my nails, but this finger was the problem finger. It is growing back, as you can see, but it is still shorter than the rest of my nails. I didn't want to file down and cut down my nails too short, so it's not too noticeable when I have nail polish or Color Street sets on my nails, that this finger is like much shorter than the rest. So I've just kind of lived with it, and I'm hoping that it will all grow back to a good shape, and then I'll file down the longer nails a little further so that they're all the same length. But I don't actually file my nails like a lot before I do the Color Street, because when I do the Color Street, I will actually use the nail file and file the excess Color Street. And when I'm doing that, then I'm already filing my nails. But because I am going to be doing conventional nail polish, I'm going to go ahead and just file the tips a little bit here. I'm still learning as far as shaping my nails, so I really like a squoval, like a squarish oval type of nail. But sometimes if I grow my nails longer than the length they are right now, they start folding in. As you can see, like with my middle finger is a good example of that. You see how it kind of curves? So it makes me wonder if my nails were meant to be like naturally a different shape. But I don't want to have, you know, an almond shape or whatever. I'm used to my nails being kind of squared off but also rounded on the sides. But see, this finger, the middle finger is really problematic right now, and so it's like folded over. But yeah. Anyways, as I mentioned, I'll either use the Color Street alcohol pads, or I'll go back in with the acetone, and I would just use the one and kind of just make sure to rub around the nail and underneath the nail to kind of get rid of any of the extra oils before I put on any polish. And so that's what I'm going to do here really quick. And then I'm going to finish off with my Nail Aid Collagen Maximum Builder. That's what I'm currently using as a full-on base before my base if I'm going to be using regular nail polish, or that is my base that I use right now before I put on Color Street. Because Color Street strips are supposed to have base, the design or color, and then a top all in one, supposedly. But a lot of us still use base coats or some kind of protective coat underneath the Color Street, and then oftentimes we'll put on a top coat. So if I'm using Nail Aid, I'll oftentimes use the Nail Aid Platinum High Gloss top coat. But also Stacy Adams created her Don't Be Jealous top coat, and I love using that. So this right here there it goes, Don't Be Jealous. So if I'm using ILNP though, I have my own top coat and base coat for that. So I will likely use those together just because I like using the brands, kind of keeping them the same when using them, because I feel like the formulas are likely better suited for their polishes. So I don't really mix and match too much when using nail polishes. So that goes with like Hollow Taco and Mooncat and all of that. But for Color Street, I am not really a fan of their like nail care stuff, with the exception of I will sometimes use their strengthening nail serum and the restorative nail and cuticle cream. I'm not doing that today because I'm not using Color Street, but I'm also not letting it sit overnight. So oftentimes when I use those Color Street items, I will do my nail care the night before and let it sit overnight. But because I am just going to put on nail polish after this, I'm not using them. Oh, and then sometimes I like using Hard as Hoof nail strengthening cream. So that's another product I like to use. Oop, I'm seeing, after I had dried or wiped off some of that oil, I'm seeing some more dry spots. So I'm definitely going to go back in there with the cuticle nipper and attack those little problem areas. I find that Color Street only shows wear and tear on my fingers, on my nails. One, when there's growth, and my nails tend to grow pretty fast, as you can tell if you've been watching this channel, and how short I had cut them recently and now how long they've already gotten. But also when my nails are already like peeling or chipping, then the Color Street will obviously come off with that layer that is peeling off. So I don't find that Color Street, when my nails are super healthy, that I have any issue with the chipping or anything like that. But as I mentioned on Stacy Adams' channel, one of her videos when she was comparing Lillian Fox and Color Street, really the nail chemistry of every person is different. So you got to find what works for you. I love Lillian Fox as far as their designs go and their pricing, fast fashion, nails. They don't last on me, not even for like a day. I'll put them on and like, doesn't matter what kind of nail care I do, I'll put them on and they literally will chip off, peel off, within that same day. So oftentimes if you see me using Lillian Fox, it will literally be I took a photo of me wearing the set, and then that very same day or the very next day I already have something different on. I use my Lillian Fox. I bought like a ton of Lillian Fox because I was like obsessed with collecting all of the little paper foxes that they would sometimes, they would include these origami foxes, and I was obsessed with collecting all the colors. I'll show you since I'm waiting for this to dry here, but I'll show you. I literally had collected the colors of the rainbow of the foxes, and I liked that they gave like little notes, and so I kept those little notes because I felt like their attention to customer service was outstanding, and Color Street could learn from them, I feel. And you could tell I still have a bunch of Lillian Fox sets in my binder, like a lot of them, but they're just there to like look at because, again, I probably won't wear most of them, and a lot of the sets that I had I've actually given away because, again, they don't last on my fingers. But the ones that are in my binder are sets that I had purchased that I really love the design, and I just love looking at them, so they're still there. But anyways, enough of that. That is my talk on nail care. So recap, not Color Street nail polish remover, but Beauty Secrets acetone nourishing nail polish remover. The pink one from Sally Beauty Supply is what I love, but obviously everyone's nails are different, so you do you and find what's best for your nails. And that is my nail polish remover. As far as cuticle oil goes, if you aren't already following Stacy Adams, Stacy's Sassy Styles here on YouTube, follow her. She's got great information as far as, you know, what cuticle oil to use. I followed her instructions. I think it's called Cliganic? I can't even pronounce it. It's a jojoba oil from that brand that you can get off of Amazon. I use that, but I also mix my own like essential oil blend to go with it, as well as a bit of vitamin E oil. And then I make my own, and some sweet almond oil. And I make my own cuticle oil. So I like putting them in these pens because they're just easy and you can just transfer them anywhere. And I haven't had any issues with them leaking or anything like that. So I love that. So cuticle oil is a must. And as far as file goes, again, everyone's got their own preference, but this Germanicure is my favorite. And so I'm thinking of getting my sister-in-law, Mama Carla, one for her either Mother's Day or waiting till her birthday. But thought that was worth mentioning. And then again, different nail products. I like Nail Aid because it's affordable and I find that it does help my nails. So my pack of nails that I bought was from Walmart, and it had a third one that was like a 3-day growth in a yellow bottle. So it was like these 3, and I feel like it was like under 10 bucks or something when I bought it. So really affordable. And then I didn't use these on camera, but I sometimes will use them, are the Color Street Restorative Nail and Cuticle Cream and the Strengthening Nail Serum. Not quite sure how good they are, but I do like to buy them when there's some kind of sale happening, and I like supporting my Color Street stylist, Shannon Paetzel. And so it's her birthday weekend, and I unfortunately spent all of my nail budget already, so I can't be buying anything, but I like supporting her. So, and then last but not least, Onyx Hard as Hoof Nail Strengthening Cream is also another product I absolutely love using for nail care. But making sure my nails are smooth, I use this little cuticle pusher that has like a, it's almost like a file. It is a file, I want to say. The texture is very gritty, like a file. I also have like another glass file that I sometimes will buff over my nails. But that's pretty much it. That is my nail care. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. I'm gonna go paint my nails now. So until next time, if you watched all the way through and you got this far, let's have you comment with a dog emoji and a music note emoji in honor of my new Pachaco mat that has my Wendy from Cali custom on it. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.